Hi, welcome to everybody for this presentation in the next in series, Webinars Now. I'm Dave Lundahl, CEO for Insights Now, and I'm here to talk about a great subject that I have a lot of passion for, and that is clean label. As you can see that in 2018, we believe this is going to be the year of the clean label. I'm here to present some results of some research that we have garnered through our community that we've developed on clean label enthusiasts. So for those of you that have not participated in the past in these Webinars Now series, there should be a area on your left, a little that where you can post questions. And if you post a question, you can either send it to me privately, in which I'll just follow up afterwards with you, or you could present it to all, and we'll talk about that. I'll answer it as best I can to everybody at the end of this presentation. So, also, if you're new to Webinars Now and perhaps to Insights Now, let me tell you just really briefly a little bit as an introduction about Insights Now. We are a behavioral market research company, and what that means is that we apply the science of behavioral science as well as perceptual science to be able to develop products that are more innovative, or product renovations if you're developing a new product, an existing product, further, or work on applying this to marketing and messaging, as well as we also work in the area of brand and brand positioning. We have a lot of recognition because of our approaches. We're known for innovation, and we're known for innovative methods to research. I just want to highlight that the research that I'm going to present to is part of an award that we won this past year by the Next Generation Market Research as an award for a Change Agent of the Year, so which was specifically for clean label research. So, clean label, what is this all about? Well, it evolves out of one of the biggest trends that is impacting the food industry today, and that is eating free from, or some people call it the free from food movement. This is the movement as you see it in terms of products that are growing on the last year. Nielsen presented that products with claims that say no additives or artificial ingredients increased by 8%. There's significant growth for products that have claims of all natural, as well as nothing artificial. This whole free from movement, this category, is projected to grow to about $41 billion by 2021. It is impacting just about every category in the food industry, which is really amazing to see what it's doing in terms of people really seeking out products and buying products that have a cleaner label. Because of this, we've been doing a lot of work on this, and it's been reported in areas like food technology, showing this trend. This trend is dynamic. This whole free food movement is changing rapidly. You see changes in free from, fat free, what is clean label, a rise in eating of plant proteins, vegetarianism, and so on and so forth. So it's an area that the research is really needed to keep up with how it is going to be impacting the food industry and respectively the opportunities for companies. Now, as you may be aware, and if you've seen the issues and the challenges that Trix had here recently, and where they actually tried to come out with a product, and they did come out with a product that was a cleaner label, but they try to reduce the high fructose corn syrup, and they try to eliminate some of the artificial flavors as well as some of the artificial colorants, and the consumers that typically buy Trix rejected the product. So General Mills had to put back on the market the older product, which was, I'm sure, very costly for them. Some companies, such as Bolthouse Farms, has really focused on this sort of segment in the marketplace, people that are eating more free from, to develop a lot of lines of products. And at Insights Now, we've been working at this area for about a year and a half now. We have surveyed the industry. Some of you may have participated in this survey, where we came back and heard that some of the biggest challenges regarding clean label are on package design, consumer targeting, and specifically in product development. Most particular in product development, how to design products that have a cleaner label. So, to achieve some sort of more information, better insights, to drive faster and more informed business decisions in clean label, we have developed a community. We call them clean label enthusiasts, of people that are most ardent in terms of their interest in clean label products. And this community is the basis for a lot of the research that we're going to present today. So what I'm going to talk about today is, first of all, kind of a review for those who have not been on any of our past webinars or are currently not a subscriber to our Clean Label Enthusiasts research reports. Provide sort of a basis for who are clean label enthusiasts. Then I'll talk about some of the research approaches we're taking, and get into then some of the findings and sort of looking at some resolutions that clean label enthusiasts are making and how that translates into some forecasts for the food industry in 2018. And finally, I'll talk about how trade-offs are really part of the picture, that people's intentions do not always translate into what they actually do. And I'll highlight some research we have with regard to holiday foods. Okay, so who are clean label enthusiasts? And what are their behaviors? Now, this information is a review because it is coming from our just recently provided report in January on clean label research community, our food behavior report. And so what we've found is clean label enthusiasts are a behavioral segment. That means that they are characterized and typed by their behaviors, their attitudes, their beliefs, rather than their demographics. And what we find is that these clean label enthusiasts read ingredient panels on products, especially when it's a new product they're evaluating. They express great concerns about companies that are adding in their minds too many chemicals to food products and beverages, and they will avoid buying brands that they believe have these sort of unhealthy sort of ingredients in them. It is most interesting that clean label enthusiasts are equally distributed throughout the U.S. They're equally distributed against other sort of primary shoppers, as you see in this slide here. They are skewed to be more households with children, and they are skewed to be more women, especially women that are doing all the shopping for their households. They're also characterized behaviorally by the types of information that they use to feed their points of view. That means they're much more trusting for sources of information, such as from internet sites posting content from Natural News or Food Babe, Huntington Post, or other online sources, and so on and so forth. And if you ask them questions such as, is a statement such as MSG is dangerous, the science is in, is it true, is it false, or you don't know, they will have a much higher percentage as it's true than non-clean label enthusiasts. The same goes with other sort of statements that have been posted on the internet such as juices from some food companies have been found to contain formaldehyde and so on and so forth. So these consumers are feeding their point of view by the content that they're looking at, they're reading, they're talking about with their friends probably, that they're constantly reinforcing. They have confirmation biases and they have disconfirmation biases. That means it's very difficult for them then to believe information that disconfirms or is different from their point of view. So these sort of behavioral sort of beliefs and the attitude, impacts the attitudes they have for foods, for brands, and so it is really behind what they do. It also impacts, as you can see from this slide, where they shop. Very interesting. The clean label enthusiasts tend to shop at more stores when they're shopping for any specific category than non-clean label enthusiasts. And they tend to gravitate more towards retailers such as Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or so on, these retailers that are more value add, that have more clean label products in their store shelves. And they are less frequenting stores that are more dollar saver types of stores, where it's more about the value than the value add. The last thing about clean label enthusiasts I'll mention is that the sort of claims that most influence them depends on the context. And we looked at 24 different food and beverage categories that we're looking at every quarter in our ongoing research. And we found that natural, GMO-free, organic are claims that seem to be very important across all these categories. For certain categories, claims such as pure, simple, or fresh are also important, but not in all. And certain claims such as low salt or even low sugar are claims that are really important also in specific categories. Most interesting to note that the claim of gluten-free is no longer an important sort of claim across the board in these food and beverage categories, as they were, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when gluten-free was really a fad. Okay, so what have we been doing research-wise? Well, first of all, with this community, we are able to provide insights that are faster and provide more informed clean label decisions. We do this by clean label ongoing sort of comparisons, as I will present here today, between clean label enthusiasts and non-clean label enthusiasts. And we provide a whole range of different engagement services, such as ways to quickly test ingredients and claims and brands, to do custom data pulls or specific research projects. We've also developed an alienation test to be able to test brand fans to make sure that your changes in a product do not alienate your brand fans, as happened with Trix. So what did we do specifically? So we reached out right after the first of the year to our community of clean label enthusiasts with a New Year's resolution survey. And so we asked our participants, what is your New Year's resolution? And particularly, we're really interested is, did it relate to foods or beverages? And if it did, we asked our participants to select a food or beverage category most related to their particular New Year's resolution. We asked them to describe how that beverage category related. Did they avoid some foods in it? Was they adding foods or beverages, or were they actually replacing something? And then we asked them specifically then to drill down to what products or brands in that category were important in achieving their New Year's resolution, and then to describe why. So this wealth of information is really the basis for what I want to talk about today in presenting here. That is, how do resolutions, particularly for clean label enthusiasts, how does that relate to our understanding and particularly gaining some forecasts into the upcoming year, 2018? First of all, we found that a little over 2/3 of all clean label enthusiasts made a New Year's resolution that's specifically related to some food or beverage. And some of the key themes that we found were about water, fresh fruits and veggies, things that are low in, like sugar or calories or salt or whatever, health strategies. There was talking about snacking alternatives, about renovating meals, or switching from one type of beverage to another. From a strategy perspective, we found that about 6% of the clean label enthusiasts specifically called out avoiding a specific food. 30% said that they would be adding a particular food or beverage. And 60% had a strategy where they're specifically going to be avoiding and replacing what they're avoiding with a specific type of food or beverage. So, what are our forecasts? Well, first of all, this next year, water is going to increase. Water consumption, water sales, it is the biggest story that we were able to find. So why water? Well, bottled water, if you think about it, is the ultimate clean beverage. We found that 19.5% plan to drink more water this year, and they cite that they plan to drink more water, add water to their diet to stay more hydrated or to help clean out their body to be more healthy. And in addition to that, about 13% specifically called out they're going to replace sugary sodas with water. So some of the comments you can see are here. You know, people want to stay hydrated. They want to drink specific things that they heard, like 8 ounces of water a day. They want to, instead of drinking water, drink water in place of drinking drinks that contain a lot of quote-unquote processed sugars. They want to drink water to clean out their body, to make their joints and the bodies feel great. They want to drink more water so they have fewer headaches or other sort of ailments they have. Drinking water was really important for a variety of reasons, but all designed about leading a more healthy lifestyle. And specifically, there were certain brands that called out by various different participants, suggesting that not all water or water products are perceived by consumers to be the same. There are certain types of water products, bottled water products, that were preferred. Others certain beliefs about them being more free from chemicals or being able to better hydrate. So these products are differentiated, and not all water is perceived to be the same by all consumers. So, what does this mean for various brands? Well, you can see here this is prior work we've been doing in looking at comparing clean label enthusiasts and non-clean label enthusiasts. And you find that clean label enthusiasts tend to have a much broader range of name brands that they use, and the same goes for carbonated water. A large number of name brands that they are using from the stores that they're shopping. So, second key area in forecasting from this research that we are making is that consumers are seeking out and want to try more healthy beverage alternatives to what they're currently consuming. That means they want to improve their nutrition through beverage consumption. 18% cited adding or replacing another beverage with a healthier beverage alternative. 5% said that 5.5% said they want to add more nutritional beverages or smoothies, and 13% said they would be replacing sugary soda drinks with more nutritional beverages. 5.5% cited adding more teas or juices to their diets, with 4% said they would be replacing sugary sodas with teas or juices. And you can see this from some of the comments. There's a lot of comments about smoothies, which is really interesting, as well as various innovative sort of either like green teas or fruit or vegetable sort of blends of fruit juices. So consumers are seeking a wide range of different beverages that they can use as alternatives to what they're currently drinking to lead a more healthier lifestyle. So what about carbonated cola manufacturers? What does this tell you about the opportunities that lie for their companies? Well, 19% said they plan to replace the current carbonated colas that are on the market with water or other beverages perceived to be healthy. We found from our past research that among clean label enthusiasts that they tend to skew with a higher percentage of people that already do not buy carbonated colas, about a quarter of them. So this number is going to go up. And it will continue to go up unless carbonated cola manufacturers can find ways to change the perception about the healthiness of the ingredients that are in carbonated beverages, cola beverages. And in particular, we found from our research already that diet carbonated colas don't really fit the bill here because of the artificial sweeteners that tend to be on the back label. It's also interesting to note that amongst different brands of carbonated colas that clean label enthusiasts tend to consume and cite that they consume today, Canadian Dry, Schweppes, and Sprite were some of the brands that had a higher percentage amongst clean label enthusiasts that they consumed versus non-clean label enthusiasts. So the idea of more natural, having fewer artificial sort of sweeteners or other sort of ingredients in a carbonated cola, these sort of products are somehow perceived differently than some of the others. So it is something worth exploring for carbonated manufacturers in sort of evolving sort of the types of products that come to market for clean label enthusiasts or those that are more of this part of the free from food movement. The third main area that we like to highlight today is that consumers are seeking out to try alternative snack foods. Now, this does not mean giving up snacking, because consumers really didn't see very many comments at all about not snacking. It was all about the types of alternatives to snack with. 18% are seeking to replace the snack foods they eat. A little over 8% seek to replace or alternatives to sweet snacks, and a little over 7% are seeking salty snack alternatives. Which is really interesting is there was a huge diversity of alternatives mentioned to these sort of snacking alternatives. So no consistent sort of types of snacking alternatives were mentioned, which suggests there is a huge opportunity for snacking alternatives to come to market to seize market share from more consumers interested in these sort of alternatives. And you can see this from a lot of the statements, need to stop eating junk foods like blah, 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 and seek more healthier options like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, a whole variety of different things. Sweets are my hardest habit to stop, so they're going to move to maybe an energy bar or something that's different. want to decrease the intake of sweets for healthier lifestyle. So you're leaning towards, again, energy bars or other products. So the consumers are seeking to replace, not to give up their snacking. Some of the other forecasts are also interesting. One is in the area of bars. Now, we saw only about 6.5% of the participants in this research really talking about replacing, using bars for meal replacements for like breakfast or lunch or dinner. And this suggests to me that, to us, is that in difference from several years ago where bars were really growing very rapidly, I think growth in the bars seem to be tapering and will be minimal from here on out. We also saw some interesting comments with regard to changing diets with regard to desserts. Now, consumers did cite about 5-6% to reducing their intake of desserts, but others, about 3.5%, or 3.7%, really talked about replacing current desserts with things that were healthier, like a yogurt type based dessert. So we think there's also opportunities for desserts category to create products that are perceived to be healthier. Okay, so that's what we discovered in terms of resolutions and forecasts. So what about consumers in terms of trade-offs? So one thing that we did was interesting. This is before the holidays. We asked consumers to really talk about, we posed a question of the day, put it that way. And in this question of the day, which we often do to keep our community engaged and to learn from them, we asked them, what favorite foods do you purchase for the holidays? We asked them to take pictures and tell stories about this as well. And so you can see the list of some of the foods, like cookies and eggnog and, sweet apples and candy and cakes and so on, things that typically go against what we just talked about in terms of what people's New Year's resolution was with regard to eating fewer sweets and so on and so forth. And so what this really means is that consumers, in particular clean label enthusiasts that were participating in this study, even though they're the most ardent in terms of trying to really lead a healthy lifestyle, will make trade-offs depending on the situation. That means they will enjoy in certain moments of their life in splurging for non-clean label foods, like during the holidays. So the bottom line is the context matters, the category matters in terms of people's intentions and what they will actually do when faced with a choice in a different situation. All right, so that's what we did. I hope this sort of information was interesting to you and provided some insights. So let me sum up what we have learned from this community of clean label enthusiasts to this point. First of all, clean label enthusiasts are representative of those consumers who are underlying the Free From Food movement. So by researching their intentions to change and tracking what they actually do, we're able to gain insights that will help us really see how their behaviors are going to be impacting the food industry. And secondly, we are able to then forecast or provide forecasts that gives a glimpse into what are some of the biggest opportunities for food and beverage companies. In particular, if you think about beverages for hydration, there is a greater demand to seek products that are ultra clean, pure, and natural, such as either carbonated or non-carbonated, such as bottled water or seltzers or naturally flavored waters. These are really important. There's also opportunities for carbonated cola manufacturers. such that if you can provide different types of ingredients that are perceived to be more natural, there are opportunities abounding. Second thing, we found that there is opportunities for more innovative, healthy beverage alternatives such as smoothies, fruit or vegetable juices, and teas, meeting demands of consumers for more healthy beverages. And third, we're finding there are great opportunities in the snacking category for alternatives to the traditional sweet snacks and salty snacks. The third point that we like to emphasize is that context matters. Consumer intentions do not always translate into behaviors. Clean label enthusiasts will rationalize and splurge during the holidays, on products, as we saw. And as you know, the New Year fads, and old habits were off. As the New Year fades, into the year, old habits will often return. I can speak from personal experience for that. We're also learning from our research with these clean label enthusiasts that the claims they make do influence and will influence the purchase behavior, and often that the category and the moments of experience impact what are those influences. So context really matters. Consumers will trade away their intentions, no matter how good they are, for convenience, for social settings, and for special events like at holidays. So, if you're interested in learning more about how to subscribe to some of these services, get our quarterly reports, or to gain access to these clean label enthusiasts for a variety of reasons, whether it's posting a question of the day to the group, to do online qual panels, or to do surveys to test concepts or claims or specific ingredients. They might be on the back panel of a label. Please do not hesitate to reach out. We love to talk to you to explore what might be your special needs and how this community could be important to you. We also have developed this alienation test so that if you're making exploring a clean label decision, to ensure that you do not fall into the same sort of problem that General Mills had with regard to the Trix brand. So don't hesitate for reaching out. So at this point, I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions. I'll be glad to go through those. Please enter some now. I see that we had already a couple here, and I'll go through those. And let's see. First question here is, do you have information about free claims for cosmetic products? Well, this is a great question, because we are actually currently doing some research into personal care and household care products with regard to clean label enthusiasts. And we are finding that they are very, very much concerned about products and ingredients in products that go beyond the food industry. So it is more a general sort of belief, general sort of attitudes and concerns that these consumers have for things that they not only put in their body, but maybe breathe in or put on their face, or in terms of personal care or beauty care products on their skin. So next question. See, I'm looking into the basic emotion of disgust, particularly related to food evaluation. Are the CLEs only disgusted by labels or other aspects of foods and beverages? Also, this is a great question. When you think about emotions, such as disgust. That's a very strong negative emotion. What we have been doing to date is not so much focusing on what is the emotion, but what is the reaction to various different ingredients. As an example, we've developed a test. We call it an implicit test, but it actually presents various ingredients in the context of something that's very relevant, a type of behavior, type of situation, such as breakfast moments when you're on for a grab and go like a bar for grab and go, or a breakfast moment where you're at home having a normal breakfast. Very different types of moments, and we were able to then look at those foods and to see how people react. If they react very fast, and I would avoid this food very fast, we're finding that that is an emotional type of reaction. It is something that has emotional tags to it, and that is strong. So we're looking at the difference between that versus something that is much slower, where there's cognitive thinking to have to go in, some more rational thought to, if I'm grab and go, is this sweetener, this art, am I willing to trade away for convenience this sort of sweetener? So that sort of assessment is what we've been doing, rather than at this point focusing on things, specific emotions like disgust. So a third statement. I'm not on your CLA panel, but I feel like you guys have had a camera on me over the holidays. Exclamation mark. Nearly all of the information presented seems to be representative of my life over the past couple of months. Well, I think we can all relate to our New Year's resolutions, our eating habits, and the things that we would like to change for leading a healthier lifestyle. And so I think we all relate to the sort of trade-offs we make. And because these are part of human nature, they're part of who we are, no matter what our attitudes are, no matter what our underlying beliefs, whether we are a clean label enthusiast or not. But I think what is really relevant to today's discussion is that in terms of our lives as researchers, as people that are working in various consumer products, whether it's food, beverage, personal care, beauty care, household care, that these are challenges that we're all facing because consumers are seeking out products that are alternatives to the ones that are currently on the market that have concerning, for whatever reasons, concerning types of ingredients in them. And perception is reality. And that's that's the challenge, and that's why we're doing this type of research and putting it forth. So thank you for everybody participating in this webinar today. Our next webinar is going to be next month on exactly 1 month from today, on March the 8th. This one I'll be co-presenting with Karen Lynch, who is our head of qual at Insights Now, and we'll be co-presenting on some methods and strategies to accelerate your product development, whether you're renovating product lines or you're innovating a new product. So until that time, have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.